We got some tremendous guys identified that's in the portal. We don't jump the gun on that stuff because the last thing I want to hear is my name associated with tampering or anything like they do our kids.
Cash Cleveland, he said, I'm done with Coach Prime. I'm going over there where there was throwing Telias in his face, dog. While Deion Sanders was boosting his recruiting efforts in the world of the NFL draft, sending 9 NFL Buffaloes to the NFL, it seems like things were going awfully for Colorado in the actual home base, as you had, I think, 4 different Colorado players into the transfer portal, 2 of which were supposed to be large cornerstones in this offense. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes up. We're going to kind of update this, and if we have some time, we'll even take a peek at a few different transfer portal stories. We do have a few Colorado transfers who have officially found new landing spots since they entered the portal as well. And then, like I said, if we have time, we can check out who is in the portal, because there are still a few more players to be coming. Now, just last update, the players visiting that we had last time, we had a Cal running back. They had a BYU wide receiver, as well as a linebacker from Colorado. So it seems like, people were asking like why there were so many wide receivers, why there's so many corners. It seems like they were more than anticipatory of the situation. And the crazy part is Lajohntay Wester's brother, right after Lajohntay just got sent to the NFL, he's out of there too. And Brandon Hood is claiming that there's a real change happening in Colorado, that the reason why he's leaving. So let's start with Brandon Hood. Now, Brandon Hood had all 4 years of eligibility. This is what he had to say to Colorado and the staff. He said, "Thank you, Colorado staff, for the opportunity to pursue my dream of playing college football. I am thankful for all the lessons I have learned from being at the institutions. It has molded me and shaped me into a better, more mature man. I made a decision to come to Colorado because I wanted to help build something from the ground up. I worked hard and did my best with every opportunity I was given. I am excited about what the future holds and looks forward to and what's next. Thank you, Colorado." Now, this comes off of this one is pretty shocking and pretty hard one, right? There haven't been any major transfer losses per se, except for this one, because we had the Colorado had the Isaiah Augustov loss, right? And that seemed to be a bit of a hard loss. Obviously, he's out there in Virginia just because he was the leading rusher. But again, Dallin Hayden is still there. They haven't lost any starting offensive linemen besides maybe Cash Cleveland, but then again, he was a walk-on, so it's not really the same. I don't think. Colorado linebacker Jalen Wester. Oh, sorry, I had them out of order. Hold up. I had them out of order. I accidentally mixed these two up, but it's all good. It's the same thing though. Here we go. And there is Brandon Hood again speaking. I think this was actually what's it called? The linebacker Jalen Wester. But regardless, same sentiments. Brandon Hood is somebody who was supposed to really come up immediately and be the guy now that Isaiah Augustov is gone. But again, I think Dallin Hayden is plenty more capable of that. And now you have Colton Hood, his brother, and he has been like, there is no way around it. Brandon Hood was a guy who could be okay. He had a bright future. There's been a lot of that. Even some of the starters or potential starters that they've been losing in the portal so far, at least this transfer cycle, it's just been like, okay, he could. All right, he could have. Oh, he could make another step. Colton Hood, that dude's a dog. Like that's a starter. That is a cornerback. That is a guy. Now, interesting enough, 5'11", 190. RJ Johnson, 6'2". The other cornerbacks are a little bit longer. It seems like Deion Sanders just prefers a longer ranger cornerback. He prefers that 6'1", 6'2" area. I mean, obviously we see that from the likes of Travis Hunter, and then we see that more for the likes of, I know I keep coming up with it, but Cormani McClain, RJ Johnson, right? These are players that are 6 foot plus. And that gives them ability to really be a lot more physical, especially at the collegiate level, right? The collegiate level, there's not a lot of wide receivers at this level, especially in the Big 12, that can handle a big physical corner getting into their chest and really pressing them. So maybe that's what it's about, because Colton Hood actually addressed it. I know a lot of times transfer portal players just kind of say vague things, right? This is vague, but it still kind of gives us a little insight as to why the decision was made, specifically for somebody who is, again, a starter at cornerback and someone who is projected to be in the league. So thanks to Coach Prime, Coach Mathis, Coach Livingston, coaching staff, training staff, and especially my teammates for the wonderful opportunity to be a part of the Colorado Buffs family. I've enjoyed every moment, grown significantly, and loved the city of Boulder. My brother and I dreamed of playing college football together since we were 9 years old. I came to Boulder to help the team and play with my brother. In college athletics, as coaching changes take place, coaches are free to bring in their own personnel. On April 25th, We learned the school was moving in a different direction, and we humbly respected that decision by entering the transfer portal. Thank you to everyone for the love and support of the past year. So I don't know if you could get any more clearer than that, but yeah, they said that there is another corner coming in, probably different coach or another piece of the coach that's bringing in a guy that he wants to be the guy. Maybe they asked Colton Hood to play nickel. Maybe they asked him to play, safety for all we know, right? There could have been a major change and shift that they just weren't familiar with or weren't comfortable with. Now, I have to wonder, right? I have to wonder if it's a running back thing, right? Because it seems like they're following each other as brothers, right? It seems like one had the problem and the other seems to be following. So I would love to see, I would have to assume that it was Colton because he's the one that's spelling it out. But at the end of the day, he's also the older brother too, from what I understand. So that could just be, hey, big brother doing big brother things and just spelling that out. But that's a major loss. Brandon Hood is a loss, but it's more of a, hey, he's going to be a guy. We haven't seen it. We know, or what you get out of Colton Hood, and that is an extremely productive cornerback, and one that is quite reliable and was reliable throughout the year last year. But hey, man, still lots of great players on that Colorado defense, a lot of good pieces and places, and of course the portal, even though it's officially closed, players are still in the portal. Players are still making signing. I barely understand the portal. I learn about it every single day, but it does not mean just because the portal is technically closed, which it did last Friday, does not mean Colorado still can't make additions. And presumably the reason they left is because there are additions being made. Now, speaking of some more additions or subtractions, Mr. Jalen Wester, obviously the brother of Lajohntay Wester and former FAU transfer, the brother of Lajohntay, the former Colorado wide receiver. He had 15 tackles last season, so he wasn't anybody that was projected to go crazy. Now, a lot of brothers in Colorado. What's up with that? Is that Coach Prime has a type. You're starting to see his archetype. He likes brothers. I think he thinks, if I would have to, thinking in Deion Sanders' mind, I would have to assume that he thinks that having brothers here, not only you get some familiarity, but it almost gives you like a tie-in for another reason to stay. Like, right, you're not going to leave your brother, right? I mean, I guess you're going to leave with your brother. But you see that a lot of collegiate players, I think that's super cool because I had dreams of playing with some of my siblings. If I had, siblings around my age in college, I thought that would be the coolest thing ever. Obviously, didn't work out. But you see the Zachariah Branches of the world. You see the Westers that were together. Caden and Kalen Salter. Kalen Salter is now the starting linebacker, especially with Jalen Wester being gone. He's there. He likes those brother pairs. That's so interesting. There was 3 sets of brothers on the team before they transferred. So Jalen Wester and Lajohntay Wester, Colton Hood and Brandon Hood, and then now you had Caden Salter and Kalen Salter. What? You just snatching up them brothers, Coach Prime. All right, that's cool. Some more enters into the transfer portal. These aren't as major, but rather they are entered transfer portals. You got Malachi Hollywood Murphy with 4 years of eligibility. He's entering the transfer portal. The Bible says the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and they're the light of his way. My book isn't closed in this chapter. Thank you, Coach Prime, Colorado fans and staff. And something that we've been saying consistently is how often that whenever people say that they're entering the transfer portal, not only does Coach Prime say a lot of things, we haven't really heard a lot of negative things about Colorado. Now, to be honest with you, that's just smart transferring. You don't want to go around speaking poorly of your quote unquote employer, right? That's not going to look good for you or bode well for you in the next spot that you go into if you're saying nasty things. But let's get into it because speaking of former employees and people who were there, Colorado offensive line, Zach Owens, he entered the portal on the 23rd. He was a 4-star recruit and a Clemson transfer. And now he officially found a home. But before we do that, someone who also recently transferred to Cash Cleveland, he said he was upset about him leaving Colorado. And it seemed like a Colorado fan was like, yo, what are you talking about? You left too. Like, why? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, maybe he was doing some recruiting. I don't know. Maybe doing some recruiting. Also, as well, a walk-on linebacker, Mr. Trent Hood. I'm not sure if that's another brother of the Hoods. Was there 3 brothers? But another brother and a linebacker, Mr. Trent Hood, is also entering the portal. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more players in the portal and 2 more players out of Colorado that just signed. And this just happened. What's it called? Zach Owens, he just signed. Like, that just happened. And then you got Cash Cleveland. Cash Cleveland! Now, I'm not one to say that when people transfer, you go into the ops. Like, that's not me. That's not my flavor. That's not how I do it. right? And this is just a prediction, by the way. Oh no, wait, it's not a prediction. He did sign. I saw it. He signed. I just got the wrong picture, but I'll probably have it in the beginning. You saw it. It's one thing to go interconference. Okay, Taj McCoy, you go to Oklahoma State. Oh man, but apparently he's from Oklahoma. But whatever, it's cool. You go to Oklahoma State. You go to Texas Tech after that bad blood game. Y'all, a lot of y'all, the only reason y'all are watching me now is because of the Texas Tech game and what happened. All the craziness, all of the people throwing stuff, and not just tortillas, the ball boy situation, that happened at Texas Tech. So, hey, is that boy Cash Cleveland trying to make a point? Hey, man. He said, I'm done with Coach Prime. I'm going over there with throwing tortillas in his face, dog. I ain't got no respect for Deion. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching. I'm reaching. I'm just joking. I like to have a good time. But I am very, very happy for the young gentleman, and I'm hoping that now, obviously, because we knew Cash Cleveland was a walk-on, hopefully he gets that scholarship that he needs, and he was able to obviously have a good game, probably, presumably against Texas Tech, show them what's happening, and add to their team. Zach Owens goes from Clemson to Boulder to now Mississippi State, which was the worst team in the SEC last year. So that's what it's looking like right now. I already talked about a few other players that are coming in to visit, and if we have time, like I said, we can go hop and look at the portal. Now, a few stories in the portal, some bigger than the other, and we'll probably have separate videos on two of these, the NIL with the Amaleva family. I probably butchered that, and of course, Jaden Rashada, because this is an ever ongoing process as well. So, starting at the top, Arkansas NIL Collective is demanding roughly $200,000 back from transfer quarterback Madden Amaleva. And obviously, you know that both of the brothers, again, here we go with the brothers again, they are going and they're transferring together from their separate teams to UCLA. And now UCLA and Madden was actually infamous for kind of stalling out UCLA and it's flipping his commitment from UCLA to Arkansas last minute. So you have that on top of him voiding his contract, right, and leaving to another school and presumably signing another NIL contract in UCLA. And this is a problem. And one of the main issues of the NCAA not enforcing their rules and not properly enforcing or consistently enforcing NIL rules. That's how you're allowed to have people sign contracts and still enter the portal, a la Xavier Lucas. That's a video that in a story that we've talked about. We're going to continue to talk about as it kind of, comes more to fruition if anything else happens. But, Miami quarterback or cornerback, defensive back, who was formerly at Wisconsin and just entered the portal without Wisconsin even officially entering the portal. He signed over his name, image, and likeness rights to Wisconsin currently. His name's on dotted line. Doesn't matter. He's gone. Presumably, again, signing another NIL contract. So this is the first time that we've seen a school try to enforce or try to get, almost like a buyout from the NIL money. And I don't slippery slope sometimes, I think, implies something negative. I think this implies something positive as long as the NCAA can enforce it. At least the expectation of, hey, can you pay us some of the money that we just paid you out of you negating this contract? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that, hey, the NCAA needs to grow a pair of balls and say, hey, yeah, we do actually need to implement something and ensure that there's some regulation. So we'll keep an eye on that. Whenever the story kind of comes to completion, we'll check back in on Nico, his brother, and everyone trying to steal, I guess, NIL money back from him. Somebody who's been the talk of the town. He couldn't have gone to a better place. I gotta be honest with you. I know y'all see I cover Colorado a lot. Add Sacramento State to the schools that I will be covering a lot. They now have not Lajohntay. Who is that? They have a troublemaking wide receiver, and he's not necessarily a troublemaker. Former Alabama, former Texas. What's it called? Dang, I forgot his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But former Alabama for Agnew. No, dang it was right on the tip of my tongue. Whatever. Don't worry. We're gonna do a separate video on that. But everybody knows, if you've been watching my channel, about Sacramento State in the Sac 12 movement. They've been getting a bunch of NIL money, just like a war chest fund, ready to ensure that they can transition into the FBS level from the FCS level. So they are a super intriguing school because of the way that they're trying to, basically they're an FBS level operating at the FCS level, trying to stomp out a bunch of other FCS schools, use their NIL money, use their pool to get high level talent. And they're the last chance you right now of D1 college football. Obviously, last chance you being JUCO, but this is like that where they're trying to get these troubled names. Jaden Rashada has a little bit of, negative baggage attached to him, obviously with suing Florida, not doing anything at Georgia, transferring and jumping all around. So hopefully he can actually get a chance to play. He was a 5-star prospect if I'm not misspeaking. So definitely a lot of people want to see some stuff. Now, Mr. TJ Finley has officially announced another school. I'm actually confused about this one. He's officially entered the transfer portal again. And obviously the last we heard about Mr. TJ Finley, who's a old quarterback. He's been here a while. He's had his fifth school in 6 years. I guess this is going to be his sixth school in 6 years because he just transferred to Tulane in the spring, if I'm not correct, in the fall, if I'm not incorrect. And he recently got in trouble with the law. So he had some stolen car situation. Now, I was making an assumption that because this is the craziest thing to ever bring up in a football channel, but Aiden Ross actually said something about like, hey, he bought a car from Atlanta and he got in trouble and they're like, hey, this car is stolen. I really think that because he specifically said he bought a car from Atlanta and then it was on some like, hey, they pulled you over and this car is reported stolen. Like, what? So he was, I believe, dismissed from Tulane to enter the transfer portal. I hope that gets figured out, and we'll have, again, this is another story that we'll be monitoring, following, and have a video very soon about it. But for right now, the transfer portal is bumping and jumping, just not positively for Colorado in any way. Like I said, hopefully in the week, we start getting some more signatures for Colorado fans. There's going to be some people making some decisions, so we will start seeing what that roster really is going to look like as we approach the summertime. But really appreciate y'all rocking with me. Appreciate y'all watching this video. Hope you like it. If you did like it, leave a like on it. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike on it. A dislike on it. Subscribe if you enjoy college football content. Subscribe if you like NIL updates, transfer portal, foosball, draft, combine. We did all types of things, man. We're going to be covering it here for you, man. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it. Yes, I said it twice. That's how nice I am. I had to say it twice. You're great. Keep being great, man. And we'll see you the next time in the sunshine.